Okay, hello again, everybody. Hey, Sinistello. Let's type out a new today command. Adam is messing around on his new Arturia Mini Freak. Try to make some music, or at least come up with ideas for Skeleseller. Okie dokes, cool. Yeah, so I mentioned this earlier today. I am not super experienced on this. But there's some really cool sounds this thing can make. So we're going to be experimenting a lot with this. Hey, Shoe Strikers. So what I have here is a bunch of different sounds I can connect to this thing. And how do I get out of this? Here, I guess. Yeah, so as I play things on the keyboard, you can see the keys here. I can change any of these things. So you should be seeing that. Oh, because of this, yeah. So like as I'm sliding my finger along this, you can see in real life and in the computer it's changing. Oh yeah, so we're just gonna mess around. Let's see what we got. Oh, don't like that. Don't like that at all. This is a really cool sound. What is making that? Let's turn this down. I see. Okay. Yeah, so there's this thing, this sound. Which if I turn down, it goes away completely. So you can turn up that noise a bit. Very interesting. Hi, Pretzel. Should probably turn off my mic for this stuff, huh? Let me move this here. There we go. This is so cool. It's so cool. This isn't game dev. I mean, music making is part of game dev. And welcome in, Pies. Do you need me a welcome chord? Yeah. Let's find a better instrument though. Did I get any other plugins with this? No, I just got the Mini Freak V. I'm not even sure if what I'm using here is on my synth right now, or if it's being pulled in when I click one of these things. 385 presets. I think these are the ones that are on the synth. Although, what was the one I was using right there? This one? Yeah, I mean, some of these are pretty cool. Trying to find where this thing was, because I want to see is it on here or not. But I don't know where that even just went. Plastic pluck. This is plucked keys. Do I even have that? I just see keys. And I don't know. I don't recognize the sounds here. Let me just go to type, I guess. Well, let's look at any keys that we have. All right, so what have we got here? Etched glass. What do we have first? So we have things like X filter. There's that one. Crusty. There's that one. Yeah, so it looks like all these were already on here. Huh, I wonder how I find new ones. Oh, cool. Thank you, Kevin. Was it difficult? I mean, there are sound banks. Mini Freak 3 in factory. I mean, let's click this one and see what's in here indeed. Evolving keys. Cosmos ceramic. Not too happy about it more than anything. Made the dialogue into a container and hooked in the stored children. Signal to resize it there. Seems to work. I see. All right, I will definitely have to take a look at that. All right, so what I'd like to come up with out of part of the whole ideation process here is something for battle music in Skeleseller. And the more I look at other games' battle music, it's not necessarily some like, I don't know, some of the older Final Fantasy games, it was very, how do I say this? Actually, I probably need to listen to the first Final Fantasy again and think of what I'm even trying to talk about here. Anyway, most of the time, it's just some music, and it's a little bit more up-tempo and maybe minor key sounding, but it's more of the feeling you get as you listen to it. And I don't have any ideas in mind, so I mean, we're going to just explore and experiment. All right, I think all of these are the ones that are already there. And that all I'm doing is picking, yeah, that's it. That's what's going on. So they have free stuff on the store that I could take a look at. It says free banks, but there's nothing there. Oh, wait, oh, it was just loading. Free. That's it? There's one thing that's free? So everything else is paid? Paid. Yep. Well, I mean, the whole point of this is it is a synth. I can just make the sounds myself, but that is generally a little bit harder to do. I am kind of curious what this sounds like. Eccentric trap sounds for your productions. Like, I probably don't want that for this. Yeah, we should probably just kind of mess around with this and figure things out. All right, sure. Gonna be completely lost. Graphs looks fancy. I'm sure they mean something. These things, okay, so let me go over a really brief explanation, at least according to my understanding of what's going on here. So this synthesizer, typically you're going to have some basic sound wave that you're going to use to build on top of. So we have two oscillators here, and these are very quick waves that happen. So as I press something, you can see these waves wiggling around, right? You can control what these things are. So if I just change one of these to a different type, let me change this one. So like drastically different sounds. And then these get fed into a bunch of other things that are on here. So these effects are the effects you see here. There's a chorus one, there's a multi-comp, and there's a reverb. So if I were to just turn off reverb, for example, and then turn it back on, so the sound gets fuller. It sounds like I'm playing in a big room, for example. I could turn off all of these and you hear what it sounds like without any effects. Now it's a much plainer sound. You can change this this filter here so that right now we have it set to a low pass filter, meaning it's going to mostly let the low sounds go through. And then if I raise this, start hearing the full sound. So anyway, lots of these are just ways of controlling how the sound is going to get created. And there's a lot of complexity you can do with this. And this thing especially is where a lot of the complexity comes in. You can have any of these things on the left control any of these things on the top. So for example, when I change the wheel over here, this thing, I could have it control the pitch. So let's say I click this and change it. So like tons of stuff you can do. It's pretty wild how much customizability there is here. Yeah, so we're gonna think about this stuff more. Now I have another one of these plugins here, and this is set to Silk Harp, so I don't want to use that one. Use anything that's not that. Sounded very Pokemon for a bit. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing here because I don't have to set this. So the default instrument we had here, if I set this back to what it was. So I'm not pressing a key down. And you hear how long that gets held for? That's this knob that controls this, the release. So if I lower this, I wonder if there's a way to keep this always on top. I thought there was, but maybe not. It's detached right now, but when I click another window, it goes away. I don't know if that's because FL Studio itself is on top. Yeah, so let me try this again. No, weird. It just keeps going to the background. I want this to stay on top. I don't know how to do that. And maybe it's not possible. What do these things do? Plugin options. Keep focus. Prevent the plugin from stealing keyboard input. I don't want that necessarily. No, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we do that. Well, that's too bad. It means that muting is going to be more annoying. Hey, I'll go dev. What are your thoughts on building a game on a Mac? Does Skeleseller target PC? Do you use Windows emulation at all? Do you anticipate any issues? So I can build for Windows from my Mac. So there's been no problem with that so far. I don't need to use emulation or anything for that. So yeah, I don't see any issues. I think it's just generally easier. It's easier to build for Windows from Mac than it is to build for Mac from Windows. Hey, Diamond. Mac is generally tough to build for without a Mac. Yeah. Hey, let's hate it. Wondering how much that transition might suck if my next laptop is a MacBook. Do you fear any nuances like bugs that might exist in Windows that you didn't test or see coming on macOS? Yeah, but that's bound to happen anytime you're not mainly building on the platform that you're on. Or sorry, you're building for a different platform than what you're on. So like there are some bugs in Skeleseller that have only really existed on Windows. But what's nice about that is for games at least, you tend to have way more Windows users than anything else. So that's not true of every app you're ever going to make, right? There are probably some apps out there that get used more on Mac. But for games, that's not true. It's pretty much going to be like Windows is always going to be largest market share for games. So what that helps with is you're naturally going to have more testers for that anyway. So any bugs that do exist, I mean, you should have access to a Windows machine or a Windows VM so you can still test that stuff out. But it's not the end of the world if you aren't mainly developing on it. Yeah, there's no way for me to have chat and this visible at the same time, I think. Oh, well, I'm not going to try to figure that out right now either. I just thought it might be easier as far as flow control goes for the stream. This is too thin sounding. Have you done the Steam integration yet? No, not yet. Yeah, I hope we don't run into those problems, bro. It's just Lord of the Rings, but this instrument lends itself well to that. Very, very cool sounds on here. Very, very cool. There's like a hefty delay on this. This right here, the actual literal delay. Huh, something else is doing that. What is that? This? Oh no, it's this. Well, this is controlling the pitch. I just turn this off. There. So something else is probably also controlling the pitch. What do we have here? Oh, here's one. LFO2. Okay, let's turn that down. Found it. Yeah, let's turn that off. That's changing the volume. What else do we have here? Empty, 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 empty. Okay, let's see. So what if I turn this down? Huh, strange. Oh, so is that. Yeah, there's a lot of exploration I still need to do with this. So this particular thing, and what I was kind of confused by here, I'm blocking this with my head, but this and this. Yeah. So these four things were controlling that delay sound that was happening. Oh, I see. It's trying to go back to 0, but it keeps getting set back up. This is very interesting. So what's happening here is this waveform is controlling this volume slider, and you can see it keep getting like set up high and then lowering itself automatically, which is why we get that when I hold a key. It's just making the same sound over and over. And if I tone this down, it's eventually just the sound. I have to dig through my notes. There's something about C# Steamworks being unable to find the Steam dynamic libraries. Yeah, we'll probably get to that stuff in like July or something. And I'm guessing if you're already doing that integration now, that it's going to matter to you sooner than it'll probably matter to me. So please do share your notes with me. Also, if you haven't shared your game, you should share it on Show and Tell in Discord. I'd love to see it. Whoa. Okay, this instrument's nuts. Let me try this out for a bit. Okay, let's get into some of the bassier things here. I'm gonna cut that out. I want to see. I kind of want to see what have other games done in terms of their battle music. And I think I tried this the other day. If I just search battle, there's like almost nothing that shows up here. Given just the number of games that are out there, you'd expect more to show up here. But I think Octopath is a pretty good example. What do we have here? That's a weird instrument to do this with. Okay, let's Raise this higher. Hey, Combat Wombat. Only scratched the surface with Fruity Loops. I have a couple small songs in it. Also tried Reaper, transition him, maining Ableton. What would you say is the biggest seller for Fruity Loops? No idea. I really only use Fruity Loops. So I haven't tried, well, I can't say I've only used Fruity Loops, but I've mainly used Fruity Loops. And it does what I need to do. So I can't really compare it too much to something like Ableton or Reaper. Okay, what do we have here? Keys up there. All right, so what chord progression do we have? G minor, F over G. So very G minor focus or something very adjacent. DM7, C sharp diminished 7, D7. All right, so let's switch to another instrument here. Yeah. Can't go wrong with Dorian mode. I want to look at what some other games have done, and especially games I guess that I've liked and can recall the music off the top of my head. But I want to find first an instrument we can actually like hear and use. Yeah. Those won't work. Alright, how about this? I don't remember this being a battle theme. Huh. What about this one? All right, let's see what the chords are. Okay. I want to also look at Undertale. I don't know if Undertale is going to have something here. Yes, it does. Okay, so. Oh, that sounds awesome. So much going on with that. All right, so C minor, C minor, C minor, C minor. Have. Yeah, not too much. And what else do we have as far as battle music goes here? I guess a lot of the battle themes were just, like I said, sort of upbeat music themes that we had. What do we have here? E minor 7. Oh, interesting. You know, play piano? Yeah. You're just pressing random keys. Okay, so then there's one more thing I want to look at, which is Super Mario RPG. Now, this had a very, very different sound from some of the other ones that we had here. What do we have here? Oh. Yeah, very unusual for that. And what else do we have? Anything? Nope. That's pretty much it. What's the normal battle theme sound like in that game? Yeah, I don't remember. Chrono Trigger? I didn't really play a lot of Chrono Trigger. That's the problem. Oh, I've heard all the music, I guess. What's the battle theme for this sound like? Where's the actual theme start? It's very hard to play on these tiny keys. Huh. All right, so basically what I'm seeing here is not such crazy chord progressions or anything. I've played some Chrono Trigger. I played it late enough in my like gaming career that I didn't want to play a turn-based game, even if it was going to be great. I think if you missed a Super Nintendo game, like in this day and age especially, it's probably not going to feel great to go back to it, even if it was a good game originally. Okay, so yeah, I've looked at enough of this stuff. I think that's fine. I want to now find an instrument that's sort of inspiring here. Oh, oh, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I think adding distortion definitely helps. Skull-based instrument is used in a movie. Oh, it's not bad. Let's turn this down a bit. Huh, I like this. Hey, Amy. Whoa. Okay, this thing's super cool. I accidentally switched from distortion to something else. Yeah, this is awesome. Okay, so this as a bass is a pretty good instrument to just kind of mess around with. I should write this down. So next, which is what, 107? Good bass for changing the effects. and getting some good sounds. Yeah. Hmm. Did I lose my distortion? Yeah, I did. Let's turn that down. I wonder if I should... Wait, I can control it with this. Yeah. So this is controlling all of the distortion amount. I can change this with this. Yeah, I want to increase this. There. And I want to turn these other ones down. Intensity down to 0. Amount down to this. Can you see these changes? I think you can see them here. Yeah. So as I'm turning this, it's changing these numbers here. What I'm trying to do, and I believe I've just done, so let me try this out now, is make it so I control the amount of distortion by just this wheel here. Nice, yeah. Super cool. All right. All right, so what are we working with here? E7A. No, I don't think I want to do that. E7. Flat 9. I think that's how you write that. Could modulate. F sharp 7 flat 9. Okay, let's put that off to the side for a sec. I want to still mess around with some other stuff. But that was with the distortion change on this. We could save this as another preset. I probably should. Wait, how do I save as a new one? I've never done that before. What happens if I hit save? Hope I'm not deleting this. Oh, no, nice. Okay, cool. I can change what I'm saving to. I think. Save. Push plus turn to move. All right, give me a sec. Can you see where I'm typing this out? No, you can't. Typing on this thing is difficult. You just scroll to select. All right, now how do I save? There, cool. So, did that work? Nice, cool. Yeah, cool. We got it. Okay, let's go to another instrument and just keep messing around here. Go back to these. Oh, that wasn't even a bass. I think I miscategorized it when I saved it. Oh, well, that's fine. Let's look at some of the leads, though. TY, how you doing? I see you every once in a while on someone else's stream, and I'm usually lurking. It's a very, very cool sound. I'll change some aspect of this. Yeah, I got a mini freak. Having a lot of fun with it. I haven't really done a lot with it. I'm still learning things. Sounds like a different genre. I don't think I want to use that one. Serum 2 recently released as a free upgrade for Serum 1 users. I've been so itching to play with it, but it doesn't sound, it doesn't play nice on Linux and Wine. Do you have a Windows machine you can use with it? I get it might not be your normal machine you use, but it'd be nice to have the option at least, I guess. I don't like these. Or at least not how they are now. Let me see what these ones sound like. Okay, so this has channel aftertouch on it. So if I hold a note and then I change how much I'm pressing that note, you can see here is controlling the filter. And the reason why is you see aftertouch is controlling this cutoff. So that's this knob changing as I press this down. And if I tweak this amount, it'll do it by less. So now it's barely moving. If I do it by a lot. So I didn't know any of this stuff before like 2 weeks ago. I mean, I knew that I'd heard these terms. I kind of vaguely had some understanding maybe, but seeing this stuff play out has been super, super helpful. And the nice thing about this is it's a software replica of the hardware I'm using. So whatever it is that I'm controlling over here, I can actually see it play out in the software. And you don't need the hardware to do this. You can just buy the software thing. But this kind of showed me how it is people make all these sounds. Because that effect is something you might want to achieve, and you might not know how to achieve it. And I look at this kind of like how I look at shaders, in that you probably just mess around for a while and then you're like, oh, that's cool. Let me keep that in my back pocket. And then, I don't know, you build up like a folder full of shaders. You probably do the same thing with little tricks like this in synthesizers. And I'm just not experienced enough to know that. Hey, Matt. Hey, Leonard. Played around with programming synths. Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes you don't have to do a lot to get a very different sound. Like, I could probably just change some of the settings on. Let me revert to the normal. So this is what it sounds like. Wait, hang on. I messed up. Let me go back to where I was. I was on this one. So this is what it sounds like normally. But we can add another effect here. And get lots of different stuff. Now this sounds more like 80s to me than we had before. Yeah, anyway, lots of cool stuff you can do. Electric organ. So cool. How much does your general understanding of music and composition help you with this? Well, I haven't done anything yet. But it probably helps a little bit. Honestly, I feel like you can completely eschew all of theory if you have a good enough ear. And you can probably eschew having a good enough ear. You can even be deaf if you have good enough theory. So I think most people are going to be at some mix of both. Like you'll have some amount of theory and some amount of just being able to hear stuff. And you'll work with those. And you can train them both, unless you're deaf, I guess, then you can't train your ear. Yeah, so I think it's probably helping a bit. And for now, I'm kind of just exploring. And I got some idea that I want to return to at some point. But I want to at least try some more of these instruments that we have and kind of tweak some knobs and see where they lead us. So yeah, we'll keep messing around with that stuff. 23-minute bonus track of my new synthwave. Just me noodling around with the keys here. Oh, darn it. I just messed something up. Hang on. Okay. Is this the level I was talking at before? Do I sound at a different volume level than what I was just saying earlier? Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, all right. Let's mess around with some of these things. I want to mess around with the strings. Click that, click that. Well, actually, as I was messing around with this, you know, it would be good to play with this instrument, I think. The Ocarina of Time. Where is it? I don't think it was there. I don't think the way I searched for it is why it wasn't there, though. I think it's just not there. What is it, under Zelda? I have no idea where it went. Ocarina. Searching for Legend of Zelda is impossible because you don't know if it's under TLZ or just the name of the game with an O. And in this case, it looks like it was under the T's. No, it was under L. And I just don't think I was looking for it there. Yeah, I was thinking of, what is that one that goes... Is that the Temple of Time? I think that is. Anyway, that sounded fitting for this instrument. Well, I don't know what it was in the game. Probably an organ or something. First time ever? N64 and CRT? Did you like it? I think Ocarina of Time is one of those foundational games that, since it affected so many games after it, it doesn't seem all that great nowadays. And it does not have all of the hindsight of modern game design. So I think it's probably easy to get stuck. Things take a long time. It had a lot of great ideas, though. It had a lot of great music. I think a lot of music still actually holds up. Then again, it's pretty easy for music to hold up because if you just consider it to be sheet music, you can change the instruments however you want. Okay, so what I want to check out is this. What if we change this to be this? Yeah, and then turn this down. All right, so check this out. Now we can do this. Why did that have no effect? Oh, whoops, I see what I'm doing. I changed the wrong thing. I meant to change wave. There we go. Oh, and I need to set it to something. I messed everything up. Okay, let's try that now. having an authentic play experience was not good. Yeah, how far did you get? I loved Breath of the Wild. I think that was such an amazing game. Breath of the Wild. What a great game. This sounds like a string instrument almost, not quite. It's obviously synthesized, but it doesn't benefit much from these effects, I think. We have here V analog. You beat it? Oh man. Okay, I'm surprised. Yeah, I think everyone kind of hates the water temple. But even if you like the water temple, I think one of the annoying things about the water temple is just the UI of having to switch your boots all the time. All right, I have not looked through the pads yet. Let's look through these, and then let's actually try to like come up with something here. That is cool. It's a time trial. Breathing underwater. That was the blue tunic, I guess. I don't really fully remember. It's been a long time since I played Ocarina of Time. And I got the 3DS version, I think. I don't think I ever finished it though. I remember getting stuck somewhere. And I'm like, I beat this a long time ago. I'm not gonna look up a guide now. I just was stuck. A lot of interesting things happening with this thing. Not the king after he's frozen at the blue tunic. Wow. Put myself through the pain again though. I don't think it's worth it. I there comes a certain point in time. I've always said this. Every piece of media has a lifespan. And there will be a certain point in time where you just can't enjoy Ocarina of Time anymore, for example. I don't think that time is going to happen in the next like 10 or 15 years. I don't think people will enjoy it as much. But at some point, it'll just be like, I don't understand why people thought this was fun. I don't get it. And I think if you experience Ocarina of Time and you didn't like it that much, that probably Majora's Mask is not going to enhance your experience all that much. Okay, this one's nuts. There's a lot you can do with this, apparently. Granted, at this point, I modified like 7 different things and don't even totally know how I'd get back to this. That's some overpowering reverb right there. I'm serious. But yeah, I really like this sound in general. I want to write this one down too. Inscribe pad. That's 322. Whoopsie doodle. Okay, let's try that again. Inscribe pad. We said 322. Another good bass. Change the envelope. And the, what else do we do? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Change the envelope and the effects. I mean, this is, by the way, this is like probably noob synthesizer user notes of rambling here, which is, hey, change some stuff and you'll get better sounds. I think the point of mastering a synthesizer is to know what to change. Everything leads to the Lord of the Rings. Are you liking the synth? It's really nice. I was torn because what I want to do more immediately with music is make this the soundtrack for Skeleseller. And I kind of have always liked having presets. I want to understand how a synth worked, and I think this purchase will have accomplished that if I were to spend another like several days noodling with it. Then will I like the sounds that I make? So a synth is not infinite. It can make, well, I mean, I guess technically it is infinite. It has continuous values, but like it can make a certain kind of sound, and it's not gonna be every sound. It's never gonna sound like a regular piano, for example. I need to sample something for that. So yeah, what will I end up doing with these? And I think it'll just end up being that I get the right sounds for 1 or 2 instruments in a track. And I've kind of messed around with that here. Here I have some presets. So like this one, this is just an electric piano. This is a bass. We have a clarinet here. And then we have this. And I don't know what this is. It says silk harp, but like, it's not really a harp sound. But it's nice inside this track. So I kind of like messing around with that stuff. I'm guessing you have a lot of Arturia products, Mysterious? Woo. Turn that down. Most use software synths. Yeah, I wanted to learn how synths worked with hardware. And I think this has been amazing for learning. And I don't want to accumulate like a million hardware synths. So I'll probably stop here with the hardware. And then I'll probably maybe invest in more software stuff or just tweak some of the stuff I have. Like there are some built-in software synths at FL Studio, and I'm sure you can do something cool with them, and I just never knew how. Hardware synths can drain your wallet. Yeah, that's what I hear from people. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole too much myself. This one wasn't cheap for sure. And like same thing with my keyboard and my computer keyboard. But like I usually stop at one or two. And that's usually how these things work, right? It's like buy 100 and yeah, you'll drain your wallet of practically anything. Perfectly capable of that too. Yeah, definitely. I don't think there's anything hardware is doing now that the software can't really do. I know there are analog filters and everything, and it's like, sure, you could probably say that it's giving you a characteristic sound, but like I think you could emulate that. So yeah, I think the nice thing about the hardware for me was the entire interface is right here and it's portable, and I could just like plug it into a speaker and go. I don't need to be at my computer for it. So I thought that was nice. And then this specific one has the virtualized version of this. And I don't know how many synths do that, but I think that's incredible. So I'm happy with this purchase. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Very cool. Have a separate power supply input? Yeah, it does. Although actually, I don't know if it can be powered by USB. I have them both plugged in right now. I never actually tried. It's just powering it by USB. I could give it a shot, but then I'll need to reload everything. I said we would come back to the actual ideas I was trying to work on here. And it looks like there are a lot of different, what are we even under? Pads? Yeah. Oh. Might need to hold off on that for a bit. This sounds interesting. Yeah, this is very, very harsh sounding. This right here. Oscillator 1 timbre, this. We'll just change the type of this, I guess. Whoa. Okay, I don't like this anymore. Maybe. Bleach 5s? I never saw Bleach. Still super impressed with the UI. So VSTs have their own way of plugging into whatever DAW you're using. And I've never looked into this, but we're wrapping this in FL Studio, and yet this would look pretty much the same in any DAW that you use. So there must be some way to like customize the UI and still hook into any events that happen. And like I said, I've just never looked into that. Yeah, VSTs are nuts. Okay, so how about this? Let's go back to one of these ones that I thought was pretty good. Preset 107. Let's go to that. And so here we are. And then as long as we're doing this, let's just show this stuff over here. Close out of that and that. All right. Interesting. Basically the same as how games are rendering stuff. Oh, interesting. Guess that makes sense. Yeah, I've had no interest in making a plugin. None whatsoever. And maybe as I explore more with the synths, I might feel that. So I got to think about this in the context of Skeleseller. Let's go over to the game and let's get rid of this. And then run this, except for not with a typo. Okay, so the thing I wanted to test, or the thing I want to make music for, is when you go here. There, okay. You go here, and you start a battle against a boss. So I don't know if this sounds too intense, that... Yeah, something like that. But it, I don't know, seems like fitting enough to me. Hey, Mr. D-Boy, how's the game going? I mean, we're working on music today. The game's going pretty well, though. Have you been getting wish lists on your game? And more things like shaders, animations. Gotcha. Sounds quite dreamy for a boss battle. Instrumentation can definitely change. This was D minor. So let me see here. I guess back to E7. But then we're probably going to A after that. Yeah, okay, I think I can work. Yeah, go back to A. But I don't know what we're doing after that because I have not thought that far. Yeah, a little bit more release. It's interesting. Yeah. I like that better. F. Right, what do we have before that? Okay, seeing what that was about. Is ready for another playtest? Well, we're still prepping for next fest. The thing I've been working on lately, I'll show this really quickly. It has been the intro to the game. And for this to work, I need to open this up and change this. So here's what we've got. Check this out. If you haven't seen this, this is about a minute long. Oh, wait. Oh, it's going to be broken, isn't it? Because of this that I did. Done. Okay. Now it's not broken. Now let's try it out. And walk off the screen. And then it would bring you into the tutorial, but it's going to bring you to the main game because I have it on debug mode right now. But yeah, imagine if it plopped you into the tutorial where you have to build your guild. So anyway, that's what we've been working on for the last like week or something. And I thought, you know, let's try music for a little bit. So ready for another playtest. Like it's always kind of been ready for a playtest. It's just things aren't probably significantly different. Oh, I don't remember exactly when you played last. Also, hey, Halsey. Why is the keyboard not split like your other one? It's a synthesizer. All right, so yeah, let's keep looking at this. I know this is probably too much distortion, but that sounds super cool. So this is somehow going to turn into what I think could form the first battle theme. I do want to change the instrument a bit, but yeah, let me remind myself of what I even just played. Okay, let's write this down. F sharp, half dim, 7. E7. Can't do that. Hey, potato. Yeah, pretty much just flop in between either A or F and repeat this whole thing X3 or something like that. Yeah, A715-209. All right, now let's get rid of this stupid distortion that we have here. Done. Ooh, smooth sounding. These aren't really changing a lot now. Although if we're gonna get rid of distortion, we should just change this to something else. I'm gonna try the bit crusher on here. Yeah, here we go. Crush those bits. Oh, okay. Too much. Too much. Let's try that again. Okay, some good stuff going on here. Let's go back to the other instrument that I had there. What was that? 322. Oh, you know what? I actually modified one of these. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Does not look like it's here anymore. Oh, wait, no, I have it filtered. It was this. Ah, and I had the distortion on them too. Interesting. Making music for a video game? Yeah. Working on Skeleseller. You could. Well, it's very hard to control my computer keyboard when I have to reach my hands that far away. Okay, so as far as I know, the second oscillator isn't being used for anything right now. Yeah. Well, wait, no, it is being used for something. What are you set to? The volume is 0. Yeah, I don't think this is doing anything. No, wait. Hang on, I'm confused. None of this stuff should be changing anything. Oh, there we go. Interesting. Okay, well now I know I didn't lose that. Let me go over to here. Actually, I should be able to save this and get rid of... How do I overwrite this? Aha. Select type keys. Aha. Save. Nice, cool. Okay, fix that. So what's the other one? 322. No, that can't be right. It's not 322. Where is this? It's called the inscry. I'm just scrolling through looking for it. And I'm hoping that I can see it if it passes by. There. 18. I somehow got the wrong number. But I think I know how I got the wrong number. Let's hear what that sounds like. What made you decide to buy the new toy? So I do a lot of research before buying these sorts of things. And I had two motivations. One was to learn how synthesis works, because this is a pretty complex thing to a newcomer. You have a whole bunch of different waves and filters and effects you can do and connect all these different things to everything else that you see. And it's like, how does that modify sound? So I thought a hardware synth would help with that. And the second is to just get me to engage with music more. I used to just play classical piano. And if you sat me down in front of a keyboard and you didn't put sheet music in front of me, I couldn't play anything. And then at some point I'm like, this is silly. I should probably just learn how to tinker around on piano. And I think that helped. I started doing improv more, and it unlocked the ability for me to play something when I was otherwise like burned out on a performance piece. And now I've stopped doing piano performance. Basically, I don't try to get things ready for like a recital or a YouTube video or something anymore. But I'd like to make music. So yeah, it was learn how to make music better with the sounds themselves, and then just engage with it more. And I was hoping that that would lead to me making more music and kind of learning more. This particular one, the main driving factor for this was that it has the software version of the hardware. So as you see me change a knob here, like this. So see this scan thing here? If I just tweak this knob, I'm changing the scan in the program. That's not hard to do. You can have any MIDI controller and have a knob control a knob in the program. But this is the exact same knob on the keyboard as it is in the software. So like if I were to just disconnect USB, it would sound the exact same. And that's super cool. So this is like having a mobile laptop that's only usable for music synthesis. Who are your favorite classical composers? Basically all the Romantic era Russian composers. they're all fantastic. And then all the usual ones like Dvorak, Chopin, Beethoven. But man, Russians sure knew how to make good music. I'm trying to think, what have I... Yeah, then I guess there are some other composers along the way that they just made such monumental pieces. Let me link this one. I think it was Schubert's posthumous sonata, excuse me, if I could talk. Yeah, this. One of my favorite pieces of all time. I can play a piece of it here. Oh, never mind. I'm on a synth sound. I can't play a piece of it here. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna test this out, but with this, and I wanted to change some of these things. Something like that, but not quite that. Actually, maybe quite that. Hang on a second. Man, the hard thing about trying to come up with music on a pad like this is it does not sound at all like what I'm used to. Let me switch back to what I was on. Do these wrap around? There's space for 512 presets, and I'm using like 320 of them. So if I go back to this, I can actually hear what I'm playing. I don't want it to go like that. Yeah. Yeah, so I think how it's written out is exactly what I want. So this is a right arrow. We can delete this. This is a mini freak. Yeah, it's my first real hardware synth. And I watched a bunch of videos and a lot of people said, hey, if you're going to buy, you know, one of like 4 or 5 synths in this price range, like this one's a pretty good one. The other one that people were suggesting was, oh God, it had Hydra or Hyper in the name. I think it was Hydra something. Hydra synth. Look this up. Hydra synth. Yeah. Hydra synth. I think this was it. And they said this thing can also make a lot of good sounds, but it's much, much more complex. And I did not want complex. Everyone who reviewed this said this is pretty easy. And it has seemed pretty easy. This has like a whole bunch of buttons over here. And I have no idea what these do. I've never seen one of these in real life. So it's not like I've messed around with it and I haven't been able to figure it out. Yeah, it looks like it'd be complex. All right, so we end up getting back to A. This music only probably needs to be like 1.5 minutes long. I don't think the boss fights are going to last that long. Although, we probably do need to consider how it's going to loop. Just in case. What if someone has like a really tanky build in the game? And I don't plan on making more than one battle theme. So like this will just play every half hour to 2 hours in the game, depending on how quickly you're progressing, I guess. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, that would actually be better. I think we go from there to E7 to A to F. Then to, yeah. Then probably repeat this whole thing. Hey Don, how'd the co-stream go? Am I making music for the game? Yeah. By the way, there's always a today command it would have answered both of your questions, but totally fine. I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm just saying that in the future, I do try to keep that up to date. Let's see. All right, let's put this distortion back up. No, that's not right. That, maybe G. Can't wait to try animations. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, are shaders on your plan? I don't know how far ahead the curriculum has gone. And as your new self-appointed product manager, I might tweak that curriculum. No, it's not self-appointed. It's Don appointed. All right, let's switch to some different keys here. I didn't try all of these, I think. Or at least not this stream. Maybe I did. Maybe we should go with one of the other ones that we have here. Let's try this. Ooh, that is nice. Shaders on the plan? Nice. Yeah. Lower the octave. You know, we could connect this to the arpeggiator. I could do this. Oh, wait, no. I don't like how it does that. Whenever it's got this sequencer thing, it hits the play button. And the play button is the same thing that plays the rest of my entire track. So I guess the way we would stop that is by making a new pattern. Click, and then setting this to pattern, and then it wouldn't do that. Yeah, nice. Okay, so now we can actually play something here, I think. What's going on here? It should be holding this. Yeah, weird. I guess it doesn't work the same when it's connected into Fruity Loop Studio for some reason. Although I don't know why. Anyway, there's some really cool stuff you can do with the arpeggiator. Really cool. Oh, by the way, the other thing we could potentially take a look at is the whole reason this track is open is this was a track I wanted to work on for the game. I could just work on this track instead of trying to come up with the battle music. And this sounds, I've got about a minute of this so far. Maybe we should spend some time on this. Yeah, I could at least try some ideas for this part. I've got 50 seconds. All right, we'll have a listen. I'm muted. The end part is something I'm still working on there. So I had some ideas for it. What is that instrument at the end that we were using? These. Sounds really good. Thanks. Yeah. And yeah, there's a lot of chromaticism, Lolly, in this. Let me see if I can... What am I even playing right now? This. Yeah. Okay, so after that, I want this thing that we had here. But I think for that to work here, we need to ease into it, because here's what happens right now. Yeah, like we need to have that fade out, I think. And then maybe have a little bit of a gap between this. Is Ashi. Okay, so I think we should probably test this out because otherwise I'm never going to get this to work. So let's go modify a whole bunch of things. So we have this. And then a break, yeah. And then we slow down the tempo a bit, maybe. Let's go over to this. So we need to control all of these things. I don't think I'm using the mixer for anything right now. So we can kind of just hack our way through this a little bit. Oh, except for this detached, so it shows on top. Yeah, nothing's being used, right? Yeah, no, nothing. Okay, so we can just put all the instruments on the same mixer track for right now. Let's just set them to 5. This one. Actually, it's just those 2 that we need. Then we click this, create an automation clip, and then go modify our volume. And what we're going to do is we're going to extend these notes. God, working with detached windows on one monitor is practically impossible. I was working in a way that was best for me and not best for streaming. And it's really hard to get this good for both streaming and for me. All right, so we want to change this. All right, so we're going to extend this out another bar. Same thing with clarinet, another bar. And then we are going to take our volume and lower it. Copy, paste. And then drag that down to there. I don't know. Let's see what that sounds like. It probably had to fade out sooner than that. Ooh, not good. Delete this. I started it too soon. Oh God, I'm messing this up. How do we separate these stupid things? There, done. Okay, great. So paste, paste. I want to move this to the side. God, it's always so difficult. And then this. And that way, yeah, that way this can fade out from here to here. There are lots of things that are complicating the usage of this program. For one, I have a gigantic mouse cursor set. You can see when I hover over this, it's huge. But then when I hover over something in FL Studio, it tries using a smaller one, but it's not really smaller. So like if I try to grab this, do you see what the, oh, you can't see that, can you? Yeah, you can see that. You see what the grabber thing is? It looks like it's switching to grab, although the cursor is like 5 pixels above the circle. But if I point at the circle, now the cursor is all of a sudden 5 pixels below that. So that alone is really, really frustrating. And I could just change the size of my mouse cursor. Take care, Kevin. Hope you get some good pimentos. All right, that would have to be back here. Or we just delete this one or lower it. Yeah, something like that. That would also have to lower. And then we'll need to raise this again at some point. We could lower it by setting that to 5 as well. Ooh, hello. There we go. But then I think it needs to end. Let's see what that's doing. So what are we at there? I'm gonna open this up a bit. We're gonna do that. No, we're not. I take that back. No, this would just be held. Can we hold this? Yeah, we can. No, maybe let's just have it be what it was before. Sounds bad. I think we just need this to lower sooner. No. Yeah, so this is closer to what I wanted here. We need to expand this out to there. And then probably make this get louder a bit sooner. So let's do that. Copy this. Copy this. All right, throw in our single beat that we have here because I'm not going to make another one yet. I always had the impression that people who work on music software are programming geniuses. The ones who make this stuff. Because Free Loop Studio is pretty impressive. Also, my gripes are largely to do with both streaming and having a larger mouse cursor than normal. So I don't think it's the program's fault. Well, the mouse cursor thing technically is, but that's a very, very rarely used accessibility feature, I'd say. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into this stuff and keeping it performant and user-friendly. I was using a program called Sibelius a while ago for making sheet music, and it seems like it just died out. And then they converted this to something else, or I don't know what. I don't think there's a lot of money in that sort of program. Just had to learn a bunch for that for a cat game. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. I thought it was going to be just Daft Punk making that stuff, but I guess you had to emulate it in the game itself. Okay, so let's see. music sync system. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you were working on that when I came in a while ago. So what I was thinking of for this section is basically this pattern 4 here that plays. If we do this without the drums. I kind of wanted to build on this for like a solid 30 seconds or something and kind of just have the same chords playing. Oh, you released last night. Oh, awesome. You should share in Show and Tell on Discord. I was telling Pro about that earlier to share this stuff. Wish I knew how to play instruments like this. I mean, it's not too late to learn. And thanks. I think it's fun, but I think a lot of it keeps boiling down to it's like a very short launch cycle for something. So imagine making an entire video game and getting stuck in the polish phase at the end, and you're stuck in it for like months. I think for music, you get to that point a little faster where it's like, okay, now we got to make this sound good. I've got all the chords. And it feels like you're just, that's the whole aspect of music creation. It's like, it's fun to come up with the melody and the chords and everything. And I'm like, okay, now I've got to work on every other part. Like I have time to learn an instrument while running the new studio. I mean, you might, it doesn't necessarily take a very long time. I'm not saying you should, invest hours per day, but if you do 10, 20 minutes here or there, at least if there's some consistency with it. Now, granted, I don't know if you can slot that into your schedule, but I was saying it more as an uplifting thing than I'm like, here's another burden for you. But hey, there's always later. I like this instrument, but I think this is just a built-in that I'm using right now. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, that's why I like this then. Because it's the one that I worked on. All right, so I wonder where we go with this. We would probably build in another pattern here at some point. So we have pattern 5 here. Let's plug this in over here and then get something going on clarinet maybe. Something like that. CDJ, I don't know what that is, but the music series theory stuff is actually a really good starting point because pretty much no matter what instrument you learn, it's not entirely true, I guess, but most instruments you learn are gonna probably benefit from that music theory. Even rhythm is part of music theory, but yeah, I think the bulk of what people end up investing their time into is tonal music theory instead of percussive stuff. I'm rambling because I'm looking at something off screen right now and I want to figure out what I want to do here. I don't like that. We end up with a tritone there. Is this still synced? I don't think I synced this anymore. Nope. Link. Now we can do this. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I like that a lot. Okay, let's try to record that and not mess this up. Why did it stop? Well, I got one note out and then it just stopped. I think it's done that before. I don't know why that happened. No, I'm gonna forget it. Thankfully, we have the bot. I don't even know where that one note went. I guess we should play a lower two, huh? Where did that go? It's set to record and it didn't do anything. Yeah, I messed up part of that, but that actually came out pretty nice. Okay, stop detaching this. This sucks. There. Now, notes. U should be a C. Okay, let's quantize that. And let's go work on the next bit. That's not bad. Shrink this. That last part might not be good. I don't like that. But I think we can do better. It's only better in an articulation around this. Oh yeah, I was using Command Q to quantize. Why did it sound better when I played it here? Oh, I see. I changed the rhythm without realizing it. Okay, let's try to get that trill in there, or the agitator, or whatever you call it. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Yeah. We're in the very trebly area right now. Oh, it changed. Oh, darn it. I didn't want to do that. I want this back to what it was. Ooh, I messed up. This. Yeah, and the clarinet should fade in instead of doing what it's doing right now. But the only way to really control that is to make an automation clip, which I find frustrating. I want there to be a way directly in here to change the volume. And you can control the channel volume and just draw a shape in here. But then you need to make sure to reset it afterward. Maybe that's what I should be doing anyway. At least then it's co-located. Yeah, I should probably do that. Okay, so then let's fade this upward to there. This is the problem I have. It's like, what level was this at beforehand? Who knows? too loud. Oh, yeah, what was that at before? It crashed. Yep, it crashed. Oops. You create multiple unique automation clips. Yeah, but then the problem is you need to manage the volume separately from where you manage the notes. And I've always found that tedious, and I've never found it easy to work with the automation clips themselves. I really hope it saved that, by the way. Because I'm pretty sure I hit save. I compulsively save things, so I probably did. Yeah. All right, did it even save the channel volume? Nope, and that's fine though. Because now we could see what this is at to begin with. It's at 45. And where on here is 45? It doesn't tell you that. But it says negative 14 decibels. So negative 14 would be right there. So that's what we need to work up to. And yeah, that's why this is problematic. I guess we have that same problem everywhere. All right, let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's nice. I like that. All right, so let's hear it a little bit before that to hear what it sounds like. Let's start here. Whoa, 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 whoa. That did not take the changes I made to the instrument. Presumably because I messed up and didn't save that part. No, I did not. Wow. I'm glad I can hear that. That's what that's supposed to be. Now let's save that and try that again. Okay, except for this is too loud. Note velocity. You are at maximum, lower you. And then same thing with one of the higher notes up here. Where is that higher note? Yeah, I want this to pan down just a little bit so it's not held for the entire time like that. But again, I need to know what this volume was at to begin with, and I need to set it back to that at the end. So here's at negative 14.2 again. So we set it to channel volume. We start at 14.2 right there. And then we lower this over the course of the note and then raise it again. All right, how's that sound? No, lower. This sucks. This really sucks. There should be a better way to do this. Yeah, something like that. I'm not familiar with that person. Skeleseller. But this is a typo only a French person can make. You've been identified. I Frenchified. All right, still problematic over here, man. And there's another part where the clarinet first comes in where this should be done. It just doesn't sound realistic. I'm just lowering the sound of the channel, and I think on a real clarinet, it would I don't know, it would sound different. That's all I have to say. It's subtle enough. That's probably better. Okay, let's take a look at where the clarinet comes in first then, which is right here. Whoops, no, not there. Here. Yeah, there, right there. Is that part of this pattern or the next one? I don't know where that is. Aha! Found you. What's going on? What is that thing? What is that? Length? Pattern length? What? What is that note doing there? There's no way that's intentional. I don't know what that is. But I also don't know where it is. Pattern 2? Oh, I see. Pattern 2 is the percussion pattern, and I somehow accidentally put in one clarinet note that never gets hit because the length ends there. Oh my god, look at that. That just cleaned up a whole bunch of stuff that happened there. Okay, well, that doesn't fix my original problem, which is where the clarinet's over here. Found ya. Okay, so again, negative 14.2. And we change the channel volume of this. Channel volume. We want to end at 14.2. Is right there. We want to do something like that. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think we can even raise that a bit. Is there a better way to control this? I have no idea. Hey, Lammy, and thanks. French film composer from the 1960s and 70s. Gotcha. You'd have high end cutoff, you mean, when it gets quieter? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know the acoustics of an actual clarinet and what would happen if you were to just blow into it less. Yeah, I can't picture what would happen with the waveform that gets produced. But I think it would sound different from just like dampening the channel volume. Okay, so now let's go back to the part at the end that we were working on here. I think I want there to be another instrument, and I don't know if I want it to be the bass. But let's see. Yeah, something like that. So we could try to add that in here. This is just channel volume, right? Yeah, we're fine. Okay, so. Would have thought tone would go down. That's a guess, not an educated one. I think that. Yeah, I don't know. I probably shouldn't talk about this because I don't know. Hey, Godzilla. I do love this chord progression, though. know it's very quiet right now. Although, why is it quiet? Just because of the octave? No. So this would be G and then G and then F and then D. And that's with no embellishments. Let's just duplicate that, put that over there. Und then we look at it again. Nope, bad. We need some kind of embellishment. Yeah, I should probably improvise something. We know what the notes are. Let's just see what this sounds like. I don't like that. That sound bad. Why is that bad? Because I end up on an E on the clarinet, and because I'm too high up. Yeah, I think it's just because that E in the clarinet. But the bass isn't playing an F. Like it's gonna sound good. That other instrument is though. That harp thing. That right there. It could just be an F7. Are you happy with the synth? I know basically next to nothing about music equipment. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I had a couple of goals and they boil down to learn how synthesis works and engage with music more. And the learn how synthesis works has been great. This particular one that I've shown off here is also a software version. So let me not break what I've done. Hang on. Let me do this. Okay, so let's get that same harp sound that we had. It's called Silk Harp. Yeah, that. All right, so check this out. Here is everything that I see on the hardware, although it's actually easier to see over here because you can do things like this and see a whole bunch of controls at once. Whereas if you see these lights over here on the keyboard, there's only a grid of, let's say, like 6x7, whereas here it's 6x, I don't know, 12 or something. So as I play a note, you can see a bunch of things changing here, which again, the hardware doesn't show. And then I can just change things. And you can hear the difference immediately. And you can see the things I'm changing. Like I tweak this knob and it changes it up here. But more importantly, you're also seeing how it changes that waveform as I do this. So here, if I change this, you're seeing these waves go farther apart. This visualization alone is enough to understand a little bit more about what this is doing. So listen to the difference. Whoops, wait, sorry, I changed the wrong thing. let me go back to normal. Hang on. Okay, so. So yeah. This did help me learn a lot about what's going on and how these things work. And even something like this, like on the keyboard, it just says psych env, not cycling envelope. And it's not super clear what this is. And then you hold a note and you see this blue dot move. So now check this out. If I increase this, you can now see the blue dot move along here. Then it's going to fall when I, yep. And then it's going to move across the last bit when I let go, which is not as obvious because I have this thing. So you can start to see what's going on and how that's controlling everything. And yeah, I think it's very powerful. Who would do that? I mean, that is strange. I don't know why. Can you make some techno music? Probably. In fact, it'd probably be even easier to do that using a synth like this than trying to make the kind of music I'm trying to make now. But I've never really tried too much. Okay, so what do we learn from this? That this should be an F7. So let's go back to this, go back over here. No. Would be that. Physical synth is more just for ease of use. Yeah, it was the engage with music more bit. So by having this, I don't need to be at my computer necessarily. I could plug this into like just a set of headphones and sit on a couch somewhere. I could technically travel with it, although I don't have a case for it. And I think that's another important part of really any hobby. Like, I'm sitting at this computer for what, 8+ hours a day. Whatever I do as a hobby, I probably don't want to be sitting in the exact same location. And sometimes I have work that I do where I'm still pretty much using the same computer, and I just go to the library and do it from there, just to have a change of scenery. So I kind of wanted the same thing with this. Like, I don't want this computer to be where I'm also making music. Well, not all the time, at least. You click the bottom Mini Freak 2, but switched off it to save your work. You went back to it? Yeah. I'm intentionally back on it now because I want the original instrument that I had. You have a couch? Yes. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. Okay, so. That is fine. Okay, so now back to the bass. Oh, it doesn't sound good like that. Maybe if it's falling? Only time I ever use Fruity Loops is to make those obnoxious repeating in space sounds. I think that's pretty accessible. And I think going from there to something else, it's like, just like how I mentioned that this synth is super complicated at first, Fruity Loop Studio is also super complicated at first. You have a playlist and then you make these patterns. You've got a bunch of instruments on them, knobs everywhere, and like different things you can control. So yeah, it's probably pretty easy to figure out eventually, like, okay, here's how I put some notes down. But then still you find something like this, you're like, oh, what do I do with that? And any kind of music you make is going to help you learn all of these little pieces because Fruity Loop Studio could technically make any kind of music. So I think that exposure is really important. And I remember when I first opened Fruity Loop Studio and I was just like, what is going on here? What am I supposed to do? And then just slowly learning like, oh, that's what this button does. And that's what this button does. Works in designing synths. That's got to be super cool. Then again, I mean, I think my job is super cool too, making games. But yeah, making synths is pretty cool. Because I think a lot of people, and I don't use this in a derogatory way, but it's like making a toy. I know this is not a toy exactly, but a lot of people just, its goal is to produce music, to have fun, to, yeah. Okay, I still have not gotten this thing. That's just replicating what the clarinet is doing. It feels toy, man. Yeah, I gotta put some more thought into that. What is the original part of this? I don't know. I think I'm too close to this now. Do whatever I just did there. There were some notes in the clarinet that I wanted to fix up before I forget about them, though. These lower a bit and lower a bit more. Lower this one too a little bit more. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm still not convinced about really any of this ending part. I do really like the chord progression. I don't know if it's going to get obnoxious in the game. And I think slowing it down a tiny bit would help. We could change that. We have this set to 171. Let's make an automation clip here. And then lower this just a bit. Delete that note. All right, so what does this set to now? There's no way of knowing. You have to go into here to do it. 167. So we've lowered it 4 beats per minute. And I don't know what's going to sound good, so let's just see. Let's lower it a bit more. Too much. Okay, that might be okay. So paste that over here. Actually, just get rid of this point. What am I doing? Yeah, then this can also be extended. That's here. Yes. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay. Now make all of those things get collapsed down to nothing. Good. Go up to there, go up to there. All right, how's that sound? What happened to my volume? Oh, this is not on the same volume control that we had the other ones on. So we have to do that. Yeah, something like that. I'm sorry, let me read this. I'll say sorry. Yeah, okay, I see. I get the interface provides a clear overview of what's happening. I meant ease. Oops. Ease in the sense you have physical knobs to turn, etc. You don't have to mess around with digital buttons. Yeah. So that is another thing that I think is kind of nice. If you are, if you're performing or you're practicing, like I'm not going to be taking this to a concert hall or something like that and playing it, or even a like a friend's place and playing it probably. But while you're playing something, let's say you've got any chord and you want to hear what this sounds like. Let me not mess this up either. Let's go over here. Yeah. Yeah, so here. I can just change anything on the fly. And to do that through software as I'm playing, you could maybe change like one thing at a time because you have to point the mouse at it, right? So yeah, when you're playing, it's nice to have these things here. Yeah, anyway, pretty nice. And hey, Goose. We have a touchscreen interface like an iPad. If you have a touchscreen interface like an iPad, I think it'd be easier. But what are you playing at that point? If you're playing the iPad, I think that's very hard. So I've tried on an iPad, you can get a piano on the screen, right? And you can play it. It is very weird. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen those projection keyboards where they projected some like LED thing onto your desk and then, or anyway, whatever, like a keyboard onto your desk, and you'd have to press the desk. You don't get any tactile feedback because you're pressing a desk. So it's kind of the same with playing a digital, like a screen-based keyboard. It's just really, really tough if you're used to piano keys. And even some people say that this sort of piano key is tough compared to an actual piano key because this doesn't have the same weight, it doesn't have the same length, the width, just everything about it feels different. This actually feels pretty good in my opinion, and it's kind of nice for precision playing if you haven't been playing piano in a while because you can do some jumps faster than you can normally do. But then there are certain techniques you really couldn't easily do on this because you're just too used to playing on a piano. Yeah. Okay, so let me play this through one more time. Just see where it stands out that we need more work. Obviously at the end we do, but yeah, I'll play it again. I don't know what just happened. Oh, I'm in the pattern. There we go. It's pretty good. A couple things I wanted to change as I looked at this. One is that one of these notes needs to be sustained for longer, this one. And then the other thing is that over here, if we're going to arpeggiate this, that this should commit. So we have the, and where do we end up there? One octave lower. Okay, so what we want is to go lower than that still down here. I don't know why I put it at the beginning. I would like you to be here. And then one more down here. And then all of those should be as low as possible. And the only way to do that is apparently to click. Why can't I click this? So that's why. Oh, actually, can I double click this? No. You can double click these though. Set their velocity and everything. Okay, let's see what that sounds like. No, no, no. Song. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so this would keep going. I feel like we should probably quiet this down. I also really like the tempo shift that I put there, right there. Just going down by, what is that, like 4%? It's enough to feel like it's kind of cooled off a little. By the time this is all said and done, this will probably be like a minute and a half or something. It'll just be town track number 4. And yeah. So that's that. Let's make a new track. I'm just going to tinker around for a bit. Cat's probably going to come up here and get in the way. All right, I want to go back to this. This does not sound at all correct. Oh, it's not set the link. Hello, cat. Would you like to come over? Okay, good cat. You want to sit down? Better cat. Oh, what a good cat. He's like, it's attention time. Hi. Do you want to play the synthesizer? Let me copy that. I can't. Not with just the mouse. Okay. What ice cream did you get, Kevin? Is it chocolate? I wonder if we cut out the chorus here, what this sound like. No, this is too harsh sounding. Let's get rid of some of that distortion. All right, we've ruined this. I can't move my right hand anymore. The cat is like, this is my place to sleep. You will not play piano. Oh, that's what that sounds like. The Hades Prelude by Chopin. It's not actually those notes. Can I have my hand back? She's not letting me have my hand back. Oh my god. Ben and Jerry's, one is coffee and fudge chip, the other is chocolate and fudge swirl, because one was obviously not enough. So wait, one has fudge chip, the other has fudge swirl. But yeah, chocolate versus coffee. I used to love coffee ice cream. Have you ever read that short story by isn't it Roald Dahl? About a cat who seems receptive to music and the owner realizes the cat is a reincarnation of Franz Liszt? No, I don't think so. That sounds interesting though. Let me look this up. IMSLP Chopin Hades Prelude. Because I think I've tried playing this before. It's like impossibly difficult. Just because of the tempo that's played at. Where's Yeah, there we go. There it is. All right. Just in case this is not kosher to do on stream, I'm going to look at this off stream. Because I'm not going to play someone else's rendition of this on stream. That's definitely not kosher. Okay. So now to find the actual prelude. I can. You're scratching the synth? DJ Cat? Where's the prelude? Oh, I found it. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So how does this go? I don't have enough notes. Yeah, so what is that though? And it's F in the bass. Yeah, so this is an F7 minor 9, which is exactly what I've done. Aha! So I am right. I knew it. Yes, that is exactly what I want. Cat, goodbye, cat. She finally left. My posture gets so bad when she does that. Okay, so it goes from A to F to G to E7 to probably A again. This could be kind of cool. Yeah, we could go through this. All right, Sherry, have you seen it? Side cat? Oh my goodness. I have not seen this. I don't think I would do something like this, and I think that Abby would want to sit on my lap anyway. I do like how this chord progression is playing out. And I like how some of the ideas are coming together. And I need to eventually kind of put this into paper, so to speak, in FL Studio. Yeah. So goes to A, F, G, E7. Desk, nest, cat bed. Oh boy. Fully funded in 6 minutes. What? How much money did this get? Whoa. What? $468,000. How much did this get? Oh, this is a much more modest $21,000. Last updated 2023. I wonder if people ever got their thing. I don't think $20,000 is enough to produce this and actually manufacture enough of them. When was this? This is what, 5 moving parts? Or 6 parts or something like that? Okay, so just the chords are... Is this what I've done over here? No, but it's probably on my mind. All right, let's mess around a little bit more. Big chords. Add some variations. Thanks, AI. So a B half diminished 7 could be thrown in there. B half dim 7. E7. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Pretty much. And then flange it. Oh, wait, no, it's not the same at all. What am I talking about? I was thinking of... Yeah. Now get rid of this. Interesting. Okay, well, I made some progress. I think this is pretty good. So I want to save this somewhere. Yeah, music. Nice. Let's go fill out the old journal. Oh, you know what I can try? We can turn this off and then try unplugging the power from it and seeing if it still turns back on. It does not, which means it cannot get power over USB apparently. Or that USB port doesn't provide power. But yeah, this is not on. In fact, can we look that up? Arturia Mini Freak power over USB. USB powered. Turn on power options. They write this here. My volt ripcord to power. I'm guessing that's some third party thing. USB port accepts power. You can pretty much use any old USB charger or the USB port in your computer. What? That didn't work. Oh, the micro free can be, but the mini cannot. Okay. Well, whatever. I don't really care. I just wanted to know because I guess it would save a cable, but it's not like there's a problem. So spent the morning polishing the intro and spent the afternoon noodling around with music. Yeah, hopefully we ended up actually coming up with a battle theme here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy how today went. And yeah, some of you who are new to synths got to see this thing and listen to me be terrible on it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I read a lot of reviews. Why can't I pull this thing out? Hang on a second. Huh. I don't think that should be so tight. Anyway, I read a lot of reviews of people saying that they plugged in this synth, they plugged in some headphones, and then 4 hours later they were like, "Oh, it's been 10 minutes," and they just had a bunch of fun messing around with it. I think it is fun. I think having presets would be really helpful for me. Let me set this thing back to 720p mode. Now, hopefully this scene looks correct. Yeah, I'll just go delete the synth scene. Remove, yes, cool. Okay. Yeah. Fun to see the music noodling. Yeah, it's nice to do something different every once in a while. I feel like I've just been working on all this demo polish stuff for so long. And it's tough to stay in that habit for a long time. Because it's just not the most exciting thing. And at some point, we've obviously got to move on from demo polish. And I think then we'll start working on challenge mode or something. A challenge mode, multiple challenge modes. I'm not sure. But I have enough other little things I've got to do. Yeah, so intro, music, a trailer. This is all still the top priority stuff. I think I'm going to take Friday off. So I'm going to write possibly no stream on there. Friday, possibly no stream. I may take it off. And Thursday, if I take Friday off, remove Friday from the schedule. Yeah. Animal Royale 2.0. It would be kind of interesting to do something like that. Like a 2D Animal Royale. All right, I'm going to get going. Let's go find someone to raid. Thank you all for watching. What can we go to? Let's go raid Spiro. I don't know if we ever get to raid Spiro. I don't know the last time I have. He is talking about daily tech news. And he's only been online for like 7 minutes, so he better not quit right now. Hey, Snow Goose. I've been taking a day off in 2 months working on my demo. I don't think that's very healthy. But, I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. Yeah, I'll see everyone probably on Monday. I don't think I'm going to be back on Friday, and I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. But like I said, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. See you later. Have a good one.